Hi, I'm Augustus. I'm traveling in the United States to listen to the people I meet and to tell them about my candidacy for the President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Hartford, Connecticut, at the state capitol, a stunning, high Victorian Gothic masterpiece overlooking Bushnell Park. At the old State House down the road, George Washington first met the French General Rochambeau to plan the victory at Yorktown. It's also where the Amistad trials began, reminding us that the pursuit of justice often starts with a single determined voice in a crowded room, sort of like my campaign. Connecticut's state motto is Qui transtulit sustinet. He who transplanted still sustains. To me, the motto means that while we may move, grow, and change, the core of who we are must be protected and nurtured. It's about the resilience to keep standing even when the transplanting is hard. Connecticut is called the Constitution State, a name that honors the fundamental orders, the first written constitution in history. It's a legacy of self-governance and ingenuity. Connecticut is also called the Nutmeg State, a nod to the legendary shrewdness and Yankee ingenuity of your ancestors. From the insurance capital of the world here in Hartford to the submarine capital in Groton and the brass city of Waterbury, this state has always been an engine of American industry. This is the 44th capital of my 50+1 capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but for other presidential candidates, it could be considered unnecessary, maybe even a waste of time. The plan is to visit every capital in this country over the course of about 60 days, not to give motivational speeches, but to listen. To hear about how the 2026 property revaluations and the soaring cost of housing are affecting your peace of mind. To hear about the utility bills that jumped this past year, especially for those of you relying on home heating oil, and the debate over how to make the Constitution State affordable again for the next generation. My priority isn't asking you to carry more, it's making sure that we take the weight off your back. Unfortunately, it seems we're being led by people who only care about the next 24 hours while you're focused on the next 24 years. They're focused on their bank accounts while you're focused on feeding your family. To lead in Connecticut, you have to be honest enough to say what everyone already feels. When the people who build our submarines, who teach our children, and who run our local shops can't afford to live in the communities they serve, something is broken. It's not just the system, it's the reality that getting ahead has been replaced by getting by. You're working twice as hard just to stay in the exact same place. To lead the whole country, you have to know the whole country, and you can't know the country from a high-flying jet, a speeding motorcade, or a gilded office in D.C. You have to drive the Merritt Parkway, admire the views from the Litchfield Hills, cross the mighty Mississippi, and visit the beautiful Smoky Mountains. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 at least once before, I think I have a glimmer of understanding of who we, the people of the United States, are. But you can never stop learning. That's why I'm visiting each state again, and why I will continue to do so both during my campaign and during my time in office. Now, you might be thinking, who is this guy? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 65 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents come and go, industries rise and fall, and I've seen as the people who actually make this country run are treated as sheep or cattle. We've stopped looking at the person behind the work, and it's time we started seeing the human being again. You may be asking yourself, is he qualified? The Constitution says I am. You need to decide for yourself what qualified means to you. To me, being qualified means working as hard as I can to help the most people possible. Think about the people who meet in this capital or in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? How many of them are working to make your housing more affordable or your prescription drugs manageable? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of their jobs, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists, they shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives and the President of the United States should represent you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat employees like disposable parts, not for the rich who treat the law as a suggestion, and not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of freedom and opportunity. Why consider an unaffiliated, unconventional, independent candidate like me? Maybe because you're exhausted. You're sick of having to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, neither of whom has had to decide between a medical bill and a grocery run. While a vote for a candidate who isn't a member of one of the 2 major parties can be scary, isn't it scarier to have to choose between bad and worse? Choose to vote for someone who will actually work to make your lives better. Vote from compassion, not fear. I'm headed to Providence, Rhode Island next. I have 6 capitals and hundreds of miles yet to go. When you see me in your state later this year, don't just take a picture, come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you in the state where you live. Intentional independent. I've got hair in my face. Can I get, can I, yes, it's yet another windy day at a capital. I wonder if Rochambeau is the Rochambeau of Rochambeau.